Sherry Carr, and then we're going to go back to Kristen. And from this point, welcome everybody.
Bye-bye, Marie.
Bye-bye. And here. So you're right there.
All right.
So Eileen, tell everybody all about you. You live in Wisconsin.
I live in Wisconsin. I've been a consultant for almost 19 years.
Where are your career sales right now?
Almost 1.4 million.
Whoa!
Probably by the end of this month. So yeah.
Wow. So I asked Eileen, here, scoot in, Eileen, so you can so they can hear you really good. Eileen is a phenomenal salesperson.
Yes.
She has an incredible party. She's fully booked 3 months out. So right now her schedule is full for the next 3 months. And I asked her to just share what she's doing, how she's getting this incredibly full business. And she is 100% real live cooking shows. I cook, I eat. You can smell, you can participate. She gets to know you.
Clink glasses.
Tell us a little bit about your business and what you could share.
Okay, well, I'm more of a practical chef than a pampered chef, you guys. Seriously.
Love that.
Say it again.
I'm more of a practical chef than a pampered chef, and I think that most of our guests are also pretty practical. So I keep everything as simple as possible. You know, my crate has just the tools for the recipe that I'm doing, right? Anytime I try to bring more than I need, it's just very frustrating. So I liberated myself from that and took everything out that I'm not using in the demo. And I just bring the tools that I am using for the recipe. Chicken chipotle nacho dip going on 3 years now.
Okay, so for everybody who's never heard,
it's an awesome recipe, you guys. It's very tool intensive. It's probably $700-800 in tools. They use the rock crack, the grill pan, the grill press, the food processor, the salad choppers. About $700 or $800 worth of tools in a short period of time. It tastes great. It goes quick. Everybody loves it, and they just keep asking for it.
And what is it?
I don't know how it's written on the website, chicken chipotle nacho dip, but I make it a dip instead of putting it on the tortilla chips. That's the only thing I do differently. Yeah, okay. So what I do is I grill the chicken. First I use the closing cut to split the chicken breast. I grill the chicken. While that's grilling, I take out the everyday rock crack and put the cream cheese in there, the sour cream, the chipotle rub, get that all mixed up. Then I take the food processor, mix up the vegetables, dump it in the rock crack, mix it all together. Chop the chicken, throw it in the rock crack, and pop in the microwave. That's basically it.
Okay, could you do me a favor? We were just talking a little bit ago, and you were saying how you didn't have the grill pan in there, but after...
Correct. Okay, so thank you to Neil Eubanks, if you're anywhere on here. We went to Marie's and Patty's conference thing last year. Neil talked about cookware. And for 19 years, I never brought cookware to my shows. I may be practical, but that was not a good thing. So now I'm even more practical. Brand grill pan. And so listening to Tennille's talk about that for cookware sales, and I thought, I am definitely bringing a piece of cookware, and it was the grill pan, and all of our team, our team sales have skyrocketed from cookware sales. It's just been amazing. And just makes sense to cook the chicken on the grill pan than using the rock crack, which is what I was doing, because you're doing 2 pieces of cookware, 2 totally different pieces of cookware. And the foundation of every kitchen is cookware, cutlery, and bakeware. And when she said our cookware is bakeware, I thought, score, it really is. Even with a grill pan, you could put brownies in there, right? A cake, whatever. So cookware is bakeware, and it's got a lifetime guarantee. So I thought that was awesome.
I love that tip.
Yeah,
love that.
I know. It's so simple. So again, I simplify everything. And theme parties, bridal showers, things like that I seem to put more work into. Don't take it the wrong way, but it seems like the more I do, the less I make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's really, there's more work, more hours involved. And when you divide your pay per show by hours, if you're loading and unloading and putting a display, this is just me, you guys. Whatever you want to do is fine. But I realize the more I do, the less I make. I have more dishes to wash. I have more stuff to pick up. I'm making 13 trips to the car. So now it's a crate with the chicken chipotle nacho demo stuff in it, which, by the way, those tools can be used for any recipe. They're the standard tools. So whatever you're making at your shows, just make sure you have your kit packed up like that. Same tools, different recipe if you want.
Are you doing the cooking? Or you
It's a semi-interactive, so I'm up there doing it, and then I'll say, you guys got to try this. I already know how the tools work. You have to try the close-it cut. You need to try the food processor. So I bring them up, and it's interactive that way. It's not station style or anything like that. But that's just the way I do it. And I find that with all of the ideas out there on social media, Pinterest, all the different chef groups that are out there, I was getting like swirly brains from all the ideas, trying to try different things. And I just had to go back to being me. Just keep it simple, be practical, do what feels good. And I just had to jump off the bandwagon. $9.75. So my show close to 1,000.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Another
so
recipe or just one?
I offer 2 recipes to the host. They can have chicken fajitas and fresh guacamole or chicken chipotle, which I did. And both recipes use the exact same tool. So I never have to change things up. Yeah, it's the
So you
same.
do guacamole, that's the second.
The guac is going while the vegetables and the chicken are grilling. And then I use a double burner grill pan because you can do the vegetables and the chicken at the same time. So while they're grilling, I have somebody flipping the stuff and making the guacamole.
And you let them choose either recipe.
Yep, that's all they're
Okay.
gonna. I say, do you want a happy hour show or rush hour fajitas? 9 times out of 10, they want happy hour, which is fine.
And what time do you start then?
Sometimes 5:30, because they come right from work. Rather than sitting in traffic, they can just go right to their friend's house for chicken, for happy hour, and then go home, and everybody's home by 7:30. I like the 5:30 shows, but I mean, typically 6.
They start at 5:30?
Yeah, they come right from work. You say 5:30, you're really starting at 6 o'clock. Yeah. So, but yeah, so happy hour always sells. And honestly, during host coaching, I'll say, is there anything in particular you want to see? Because then I know if I have to pack an extra something. So far, nobody has. I mean, I found I was dragging that grill in and out of my car, banging up my car and stuff. And they didn't care. Everybody still needs grill presses, manual food processors, peeler slicer sets, pizza. They still need those basic tools.
You told me garlic press too.
The garlic press, yeah. What do you mean?
No, that, like it wasn't too old.
Right,
Take
it's
some
all new.
stuff and-
Right, it's the same stuff, but it's new to other people. It's not new to me, but it's new to probably 80% of the people at our shows. Still.
Are you doing desserts?
No, I don't do a lava cake or no. I mean,
So tell us how you're booked 3 months out.
well, I mean, you're using the Rock Crock, which is 60% off next month. You're using the Grill Pan, which is 60% off in August. So while you're doing your demo, you can just say, hey, the free product and 60%, and use real numbers. So $64 for the Rock Crock or whatever it is next month. If you're morally opposed to paying full price, have a party. I mean, how many of you guys have had a party before and they raise their hand? What did you get with your show? I got the cookware, I got the Rock Crock or whatever. So I have them tell everybody else what they got as a host, rather than me. This is what you get going through the grid. I'll ask them, why did you book the show today? Are you looking to just have your girlfriends over for cocktails, or did you want something in particular? And they'll say, I want the Rock Crock, or I want the Grill Pan, or I want the food processor. Awesome, And then I met her through so-and-so, and what did you get at your? So I let them sell the bookings, because I'm just the sales lady, right? So the hosts and the past hosts book my calendar for me. And I get the shows on my calendar, you guys, at the show. I do not leave without a date. Right, Anthony? I mean, I pound it in.
Lock the doors.
So how does that happen?
I say, you know what? Let's just get a date on the calendar. I'm sure you're not a fan of telephone tag. I don't want to call you while you're bathing the baby or watching Dancing with the Stars. Let's just get a date on the calendar, and we're all good to go. We hand them a host kit, and now they're committed because they have a host kit in their hands. So, yeah. And honestly, you guys, I'm terrible at follow-up. If they walk out the door, I probably will not ever. And I tell them that. I say I'm first person to call myself out. I'm not good at follow-up. So if you want to have a party anytime in the next 6 months, let's get a date on the calendar tonight.
I like the way you put that. Anytime in the next.
Love it.
Yeah.
Eileen, another great thing to say to people is you have 48 hours to change a state and still get my special gift. So
Oh,
if you go home and see that you don't have Johnny's soccer schedule on the calendar and you need to change it, then you have 48 hours to change it. And put the date really big on the host packet. So that
Okay.
they remember.
nice. And the onus is on them to contact you.
That's right.
Okay. Because I'm terrible at follow-up. So that's it. I just think keep it simple. There are so many ideas out there with social media. And I was listening to a Coffee Talk call last week, and Laura Polito was on there, and she said, If you have the tools, if you don't have the tools, it doesn't matter. You use the catalog. You just go through here, you tab it, cookware, cutlery, open it up. You can sell stuff right from the catalog. And you know what? With social media being what it is, they can go to YouTube and see how it works. They don't have to have you show them, you know. You can have a continuous loop playing at your shows on your laptop of different tools, right? Pampered Chef home office stuff that's all produced. Put those on there and just let it play on your computer. So if you're new and you don't have everything that we use for any of the recipes, don't feel like you have to bring it either if you do have it.
Love it. Oh my God.
Love it.
It's
Words
not
of
practical,
advice.
just
Do
be
you really
simple.
use a crate too?
I use a crate,
The
and
old
it's got,
crate?
no, I use the creative crates from Costco. They're
Look
the
at
same
that.
thing. They collapse flat, but yeah, and there
I
is
just
the
use a
ru-
big Rubbermaid.
Yeah.
And then I put a garbage bag in there and.
right, exactly. And I do have the tool turnabout, and the tool turnabout sits in my slow cooker stand.
Say that what?
Yeah,
you
so I
go.
put the tool turnabout in the slow cooker stand. I put it in the shopping bag, and that's my tool turnabout. Carried it.
Okay. What about dishes afterwards? What happens with the?
Okay, so this is really caveman style. I do a paper and plastic bag, 2 of them, one for garbage, one for dirty dishes. That's it. It stands up in the crate because it's a hard cake. It's sort of working yours. But then they're not falling all over the place in there. So they stand next to each other. They've got garbage in one and dirty dishes in the other. And then you just take that home, throw it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's it. Keep
Yeah,
it
saves so
simple.
much time.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah.
I like Michael's idea though of having the host do the dishes. I would give her $2 to do that.
I used to give out season's best to anybody who did them for me.
Yeah.
If they did them at a show, then I gave them a season's best.
That's nice.
And
Yeah.
then,
And then
they
they
liked
get to, touch the tools too, and maybe bump their order.
yeah,
Touch
right.
the tools.
Touch the tool.
But yeah, so I don't know, you guys, just keep it simple. That's all I can say. That's the best advice I can give. And
Oh my God.
that's it. So,
Thank
you.
you for
You're welcome.
sharing.
Kudos to Eileen. Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Oh my God, it was absolutely.
Okay.
Keep it simple, sweetie.
So I'm not really sure how this works, but Sherry, do you have anything that you need to screen share or anything, or
Let me
are
see.
we to just be listening
do
to
this.
you?
I can screen share. I can do that. The book. You want me to talk?
Because we're around.
Can you guys hear?
We can
Yeah,
hear you.
you're kind of going. I'm doing
Recording.
it. So if you guys can hear it, I'm recording it.
So are we allowing her to screen share? How do we
Oh,
do that?
we can do. She can just press screen share. Do you need to?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay, if you need to screen share, then I'll just do this. I'll turn it to everybody.
Yes.
Is that good? Can you guys see?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Sherry, for sharing.
Thank you, Sherry, for sharing.
You're welcome. No problem. Great to miss you guys today, but anyway, Marie had just asked me, I had shared something on one of our last executive calls that I really found to be helpful. I'm pretty passionate about coaching. I think it probably started from when I was growing up. My parents never really told me what to do. They said, hey, you could do this, and this is probably what's going to happen, or you could do this. So I always had questions proposed to me, and I think with our kids, we did the same thing. So I think coaching has been something that I've been passionate about forever, and I just ran across a book that I really love, and I will screen share what it is. Can you see this?
No,
Did I get? No, not yet.
no.
Okay, hold on. Let me try it again. Anyway, it's called, let's see. Oh, share screen. I forgot that
There you
button.
go.
Now can you see?
There you go. We got it.
Okay, it's called The Coaching Habit. It says, say less, ask more, and change the way you lead forever. I was just traveling. I was at the airport, and this was at the end of one of the rows, and I picked it up, and it is such a quick and simple read. I love it. Just a couple things about it. The first thing is it's true, the title, Say Less, Ask More. It's really all about asking questions and changing the way you lead. Or I think you could also change the way you parent forever. So it has 7 questions that you ask. They're all a little bit different. The kickstart question, the awe question, the focus question, the foundation question, the lazy question, strategic, all of those. But really the whole concept with coaching, the reason you want to do coaching is for what they say is 3 reasons, which I agree with. If you're better at coaching, you create consultants and team members who are more independent rather than over dependent on what you do. Because if they become over dependent, you pretty much take the power away from them, and they're excessively reliant on what you do. They depend on you. So that's not what we want. We want independent consultants. The second thing is, the reason we want to do coaching is it's easy to become overwhelmed by the quantity of work you have. Oh my gosh, it doesn't matter how good you are. And I liked what Eileen said, keep it simple, right? So keep it simple, you're not quite so overwhelmed. So that was the second reason. The third reason we want to be good at coaching, oh, wait a minute, I just lost my page. I think it was, the more, if you're connected with your members and you're asking good questions, you help them discern the work that has the most impact on their business and the most meaning for it. So we want to, if we can encourage people to do the right things and not just do things to stay busy, we're going to have more impact on the team. So I really like that. It seems so easy asking questions. What it is really, though, about more asking and less telling. And simple doesn't always mean easy. So if I read the back cover, it says it takes courage to ask a question rather than offer up advice, or to provide an answer, or to unleash a solution. So I think that's really kind of the whole idea, is courage to ask the question rather than answer it for them. So if we can do that with our team members, I think we have better results with what's going on with the team. So I'm going to stop the screen share. And has anyone read this book already or seen it? It's on Amazon. It's Amazon Prime. It's just a paperback. And again, kind of a quick read. There's lots of, I don't know if you can see this, lots of pages that have the big words on them. So it goes pretty fast. It's Amazon Prime. I think it's $12.99. And what I did with my director team is, well, I started with my first generation directors and said, hey, here's the book. Let's read it. You know, you don't have to even read the whole thing. Who wants to take chapter 1 or question 1? Who wants to take question 2, question 3? So if you read one chapter and get together with a group of 7 people, then you can kind of discuss it and not even have to read the whole thing. But I think you'll really enjoy reading it if you pick it up and read it. So questions, Marie? Is that what you wanted me to share?
Yes, and then you said about your team doing together the team meetings.
Oh, okay, sure. Any questions about this, you guys? You ready to try it? Anybody? I think you really like it. I've looked at a lot of things about coaching, and I think this one really distills it down to the most important parts. So I recommend it. Our team decided, let's see, in May, with the help of the director team worked together, that we're doing a virtual team meeting. So it's been kind of fun. We divided into groups of 4. And you could do it. We have 4 directors, and they're putting together a 30-minute meeting that gets published on the 1st of the month. So we talked about it's all virtually done. So my goal has been to have every single consultant in my whole team have a meeting that's available to them. So on June 1st, we recorded it a little bit before, but on June 1st, I put a link out to, it was a Zoom call like this, so it was recorded, and it talked about the specials of the month, a great recipe to do at a party. We had some fun things. We had a little skit in it, and just trying to make it a 30 minutes full of impactful information that'll encourage their business to be strong during the month. So I think we're planning the July one right now, and I think, what's the team working on? They're going to do something with the difference between being invited and being informed. And since June is a big wedding season, they were going to do stuff with a wedding. Like, hey, who showed up at the wedding and, really didn't get an invitation, but they just read about it in the newspaper. So trying to make it fun. So in the 1st of the month, every director's getting this link, and then they can pass it on to their team members. So that's been fun, I think.
Carrie, the question is, you're sending them the link through an email, and then they're choosing how to share it with their team, like their team Facebook page or an email, or how do it's been distributed?
Yeah. Yep. Some of them just send it right on to their whole team. A couple of my directors have viewed it first, and then they've planned their team meeting around it and implemented the same things that we've done on the Zoom call. for their actual team meeting in person. And then after their team meeting, they've actually forwarded the link to the recorded one. So yeah, they're using it all different ways.
Yay, that is, I just.
Yeah.
It's now virtual.
It's been fun.
Zoom call that everybody's sharing with them.
Okay.
And that's.
So the
that's, I think,
directors
brilliant.
actually participate, so you
So
have
the
all these.
four, I guess I'm thinking, when the 4 directors are doing it, they can be in different locations. So it doesn't matter where the directors live.
Yeah.
The 4 who are planning it.
Right.
They do a Zoom call, right?
It's a Zoom and then we just record it. Yep, absolutely. And it's been fun to see different directors work together.
Yeah.
I like that. So I just did a sign up sheet and said, so I think I still have a couple months that only have maybe 3 signed up for, but I pretty much have the sign up sheet done for the end of the year. So the directors know like, oh, I have the month of October, or I have November, I have July. And then they have a chance to share the email address with each other. They can be talking about it ahead of time. Or in some cases, we'll just, the day before, it's like, oh my gosh, we got to get it planned so we can get it out tomorrow. So different amounts of, pre-planning. Some people need more to pre-plan and some people don't need a lot, but it's been fun.
Excellent, thank you.
Any questions? And then we just do it by Zoom and then record.
I have a quick comment, everybody. We figured out 30% of my directors joined in July and August. 30%.
Wow.
So is summer a great time to recruit?
Yeah.
Teachers.
Yeah.
You know if they're teachers?
No. I only have a couple that are teachers. They just, it's really good recruiting. So,
Oh.
and the kind of recruits that go to director.
It's leading. That's when I joined, and it was
Really?
yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted the
that was my
focus.
4 directors.
All
So it was all, it was, yeah, so there's
What are we doing?
60-some people in that group, 62 people in that group.
Okay, you want to do gallery view?
Joined in July and August.
Wow. Well, Kristen, Kristen from New Phoenix. Make sure you can see yourself right there. There you are.
I am.
So Kristen,
Support.
Kristen's been with Pampered Chef for a while, but you decided that you wanted to be a director, and in April, Kristen
Has been with the company for a while.
2 years, right?
Yep.
But in April, she made a decision that she wanted to be a director based on seeing everybody on Pampered Chef incentive trips. So it is never too late to be great.
That's right.
And I would like you to share some of your strategy and how you just decided and did it. That one's
So
yours. Okay.
I joined in August of 2015. So I joined in August under Nicole. And I just was doing it for vacation money. Like it wasn't anything that I didn't know. I was in the world of teaching for a long time, and I just kind of wanted to take a step back from a lot of things and from my, be with my kids, and leadership was not on my radar at all. I actually told Nicole that I didn't want a team. Like I'm like, I just want to be a really good consultant. That's it. And and I told Carrie that too. Don't worry.
At the meeting, Nancy Joe was there.
Yeah.
To,
I was like, I just want to be a really good consultant. I don't want a team. I don't want to be responsible for anybody else. I have enough to do. And then I went to conference last year, and it was really exciting. And I was a team leader at that point, and I still want to be a director. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe it's director thing. But then at the same time, I just was having a really hard, like a really big confidence issue with things. I came from a district, school district that really, really wore me down and really jaded me. And I didn't have a lot of confidence. I love cooking. I love teaching. I love being with people, in front of people. But I honestly needed to make that conscious decision to be more confident and just happy again. Really, honestly, it was a really big life-changing thing. And I know it sounds, it's a kind of a long, big story, but after I talked to Carrie and Nicole, and actually Nancy Joe was at Carrie's meeting, and I had talked to her a little bit, I really started to see that I was leaving a lot on the table, and that people were always complimenting me that I was doing well, and I just didn't believe them. I didn't. I just was like, oh no, I could do better, like whatever. And then I saw Carrie and Nicole on the incentive trip in April.
We posted a lot of
They
pictures.
did,
Such a couple.
but that's okay because at that point I had only 2 people and I actually had one person drop off. They were inactive. I couldn't get her to do anything. And I just started reaching out to people and I was telling them, I said, the ask everyone thing is not for me. Like I am going to pinpoint people that I think this business is good for. Like I'm not, and I know ask everyone, I'm maybe leaving opportunities out, but what I was doing is I was watching people on social media and if they were posting dinner pictures, I would message them and say, hey, like your dinners look really good. Have you ever thought about Pampered Chef? Like you would be doing essentially what you already are doing, but then you can make money off of it. And then I had reached out to a few really, really good customers. I do a lot of freezer meals. I do freezer meal workshops every month. And so I reached out to a couple customers who had been bringing their friends to my freezer meals. And I was like, you know, you can start doing this yourself and making your own freezer meals. Not that I don't love you, you know. And I had a couple people join that way. And so within 6 weeks time, I went from a team of 2 to a team of 9. Because I just, like I said, like they were saying, I made that decision. I finally decided to be confident and to be like really happy and making sure, and I'm more than halfway to earning the trip for next year. So, yeah, so
I just want to make sure that I understand. When you made the decision that you were turning the button, you intentionally started looking, you said you started pinpointing people that you thought would be good at the business. And this was like virtual connections.
it was virtual. So, yeah, a lot of them were started virtually. Like I would text them or send them a Facebook message because that allowed me to be confident behind a screen a little bit. But then it was like I'd see them at a freezer meal and then, hey, did you think about that anymore? You know, and that's when people started. But it was really, I actually did a little training at our last team meeting about recruiting. And I said, you just have to be genuine. You have to be confident. You know, you have to make that connection with someone and just not make them feel like, oh, you're just another one on my team. Like I'm doing this for myself. No, I'm doing this for you too. You know, I want to help you. I want to be your teacher. And you can take the teacher out of the classroom, but you can't take the teacher out of the girl. So I still love teaching. I just, like I said, I had to make my own transition from being in a really difficult district for too long. So I had to turn my own confidence around. And when I became confident enough, I could spread that joy and fun to everyone else. So.
And that was since April you made that decision.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
April.
It's so magical.
Yeah. It was like the incentive trip. I told my husband, I'm like, Nicole and Carrie are there. I need to be there. And he's like, all right, girl. He's like, I want Puerto Rico next year. I was like, one thing at a time. Let's do Amelia Island first. And it wasn't just the incentive trip. I mean, I've had a blast with new people, and I think I'm exuding that happiness and confidence and everything, and people are coming to me. I've hardly, the last 4 people I haven't even recruited. They've come to me because they're enjoying what I do and know that I'm happy. And I love being on social media. I think it's fun and entertaining. And so I just put myself out there and ta-da. So
Kristen does a lot of live videos too on her team, or not her team care, customer appreciation
yeah.
page. Like she will just get out there and do her live videos and show them what she's doing for dinner or breakfast or brunch, like that. And recruiting, she did a live video to encourage some people to join her team too. Wow.
Yeah, and I just said I felt lonely at my table, and I really wanted people to grab a spoon. And so I always use that language: join my table, grab a spoon, to make them feel like they're part of my family, not just this team, this business. You know, just part of a family. And we really are. We really are a little family now. So, and it's thanks to these ladies, and I talked to Nancy Joe, and I just love this. I posted on the way here that I have never felt more excited in more control of my situation. So, I'm
So
feeling
a
really
lot
happy.
of what you're learning, because it sounds like you pick things up really easy. It sounds like it's like a natural thing for you, but is there some place that you learn, or is it from these guys, or is
what? I don't know. It's a little bit of everything. I love watching people.
On
I really,
social media.
yeah, I love
Okay.
watching people. I like, my dad's in sales, and I don't know, maybe that natural ability teaching's a little bit of acting and sales too. You gotta sell your parents. And so you just, I just feel like I have a little bit of that natural ability, and I think I'm just now finally seeing it, and I'm sad that I was in that district for as long as I was, and was kind
Okay,
of
I left
harbored.
that same district.
Yeah, she left the same district. So
What's your balance of live cooking shows and virtual?
it depends on the month. April, May, all virtual. Like I couldn't schedule a cooking show to save my life. But June, July, August, all cooking shows. Like it's just
Pretty cool.
it really just depends on the month, and I don't ever make anybody feel bad for whatever decision they choose. If they want virtual, I jump ahead with it, and I have $200 virtuals and I have $750 virtuals. So it just really depends, and big on the host coaching and stuff like that. And like Blair, I flip a lot of parties too. So like Blair was saying, like you give that party to that person, and then they are able to start their business
The camera's not-
really well. But Blair's the same thing. Her and I are like buddies. We have a lot of similar ideas and we share a lot. But I got the idea from Blair about flipping parties, and
Well, you were supposed to be my host.
and yeah, I was supposed to be
I
her
flipped
host,
her.
and she flipped me.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the flipping
I mean, we were
thing.
friends
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
That's
We
a
were friends,
workshop. I
yeah.
think that's gonna be a
I flipped her.
workshop.
We're childhood
on-
friends,
on the
but,
national conference.
But it is the flipping thing. Like I had a host that, like the Monday before her party, she's like, I think I want my party. And I was like, okay, whatever. And it ended up being a $1,600 party for her.
Wow.
So, I mean, that was great. And another one, she wanted her virtual, and $750 virtual she submitted. So that's fine. I mean, like, and that's why this month, like, to my numbers look like, to me, because I'm not used to it, but that's because I'm starting to flip these parties, and it hurts a little, but now I'm taking what's mine off the table, the director table now. So,
Excellent.
Love it. Oh my
thank you,
gosh.
Blair, too.
So Blair, you're Blair is
Hold
not.
on.
Blair
I
is
feel like
not.
that's all we're doing.
Blair is
is
now in
now.
the hot seat because
Yeah.
you mentioned that you're adding 3-4 people to your team each month, and
Is
like
she
you
on
to
there?
share a little bit
Where is
about
she?
what you're doing.
So,
Make sure you see
There we go.
yourself in the laptop.
Okay.
so a lot of what I'm doing is I try to book at least 8 to 10 virtual parties a month. That's my goal. And I start from the very beginning talking to, I do them in groups. So I do, like, it's usually, I try to do 4 at a time. So I have 4 virtuals running at a time. And the hosts are all like in a group together. So I host coach them all at once.
In a group,
In a
like
group.
not in a group on
I
Facebook
do
or in a group message.
I do
Okay.
a group message.
Okay.
I tried to create their own event, and I just didn't. I didn't like it as much, so I'm using a
Okay.
message. So I host coach them all at the same time, so I'm not repeating myself over and over. They're all hearing it at the same time. And I start immediately. Do you guys want to earn the commission on your own party? And I'll still do the work for you for your first party. And sometimes I get one right out of the gate that's like, yeah, I want it. The majority of the time, you get about a week in, and they see how everything I'm posting and what I'm doing, and it seems very easy, and that they can see themselves doing it. And so then I still talk to them, hey, about my parties were about 2 weeks long. I'd shortened them down to a week. But a couple days in, I'd be like, hey, you guys still have the opportunity to be the host on this party. We only have 1 order, or we only have 2 orders, or whatever. And all you have to do is, sign up, and you're going to make you can make this much money already, with the orders that are in there. I've had at least half of my hosts signing recently. I just had one, and I have people that are like, no, I'm too busy for this. I can't do this. I'm too busy. One of the people on my team who's trying to fast track, I don't know if it's going to happen, but she told me she was too busy to do this. And she's submitting $2,500 a month in sales and has a full-time job. And, she wasn't too busy. She found time. Yeah, they lied. I have another one. I have another one that's doing the same thing right now. She told me I'm too busy. She was really great online. She was posting. She was sharing. And I said, are you sure you don't want to do this because you'd be good at it? And no. And then toward the end, I'm like, okay, well, you can still take advantage of Kit Credit. You can get all these products, and, you can decide what you want to do from there. And she's like, you know what? She's like, I'll take the kit. She's like, it's a good deal. And, but I'm probably not going to sell. And I was like, okay, her mom wanted to book a party. So I said, okay, your mom wants to book this party. I'm happy to do the party, or you can do the party and start working toward your sales. And all of a sudden now she's posting all over that she's a Pamper Chef consultant. And she hasn't even,
She's the one that's doing
She hasn't signed up.
she hasn't even
You
signed
signed
up
up
yet. The party's getting submitted tonight with Kit Credit on it. But it's, she's like, oh, I'm a Pamper Chef consultant now. And I'm like, I thought you were too busy for this, So it's just,
That's the mindset.
yeah, it's just
That's the
really,
total- that's the
once they see what you're doing and that it's something that they can do too, and
and you just keep pushing it. You know, I don't take no for an answer. So even though they tell me no once, to me that means not right now. And you know, I
That's-
usually
yeah.
get at least half of them
Amen.
to be signing. So I mean, if I'm doing 8 to 10, half of them are signing. You know, maybe not half, but it's been working really well. So, and then their first, I've been giving, and something me and Kristen had talked about before, when my first director meeting, my sales were $800 for the month. But that's because all of those big parties that I was having, I gave it to my new consultants because it was about them and getting them a good start out of the gate. And it wasn't about my sales. My focus was on my team and growing my team. And I don't care if I have an $800 month because I gave away 4 parties of, you know, $1,000 to each of my new consultants. I would rather them see them realize what they can do with their business than me make a paycheck, because I don't care about that. I care about my team.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
It
That's
helps
really-
them taste success.
Yeah,
Exactly. And if they
absolutely.
can see, like I have a photo of one of my girls, one of the ones that told me she was too busy a month ago, who's wanting to be a director. Her first show, her virtual that I flipped, she flipped midway through it, was a $1,300 party, and it was the month that it was half kit credit back. So she had this pile of stuff. It's this picture I have. I love it. It's just this giant pile of Pampered Chef because she didn't open anything until all of her party stuff came. It's this giant pile of Pampered Chef that we calculated she paid $20 for it, out of pocket. So between her host rewards and her new consultant rewards and her $100 Pampered Chef dollars and all this stuff. And so that right there is like an inspirational photo for so many
Yeah,
people.
that is
They're like,
amazing.
wow,
Send it
really?
to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because that wasn't even a double product month, right?
it was not. No.
It'd be a great picture.
Yeah.
She
could be my
she didn't
pretend
open
host.
anything because I'm like, how can you not? Like,
My
how
pretend
did you wait this long to open it? Because I wanted to get it all together.
And Blair shared it with us, and we were like posting it on our pages, and that's how I got a couple of, like, you know, fence sitters.
gosh.
And then when I was ready to do director, I was able to reach out to them again. And still some of them are fence sitters, but I was able to nab a couple of them with the idea that this Pampered Chef is amazing. So
And that, don't give up. I know you joke that you don't have good follow-up. I have crazy follow-up because I keep spreadsheets of people that are interested in things. One of the ones that just signed 2 days ago, I've been working for like basically nonstop since January. On her, you know, she had a party in February. No, I'm not ready. No. And I finally sat down. I said, Renee, what is holding you back? You know, you love my stuff. You keep buying my stuff. What's holding you back? And she said, well, it's money. Like, I don't have enough money. I don't have money. And I'm like, well, you had this party. Your friend booked had this much party. You're having another party now, and your sales are already this. I'm like, you do realize that you just lost. And I calculated it. I'm like, you just lost, you know, $400 right here. And she's just like, oh my gosh, you're right. And she signed up 2 days later.
We have a question because I'm actually posting this to the consultant page right now. And Debbie has asked, how does a host become a consultant on her own show and use Kit Credit at the same time? I think you're...
No, there's different, I have different things happening. Some of them in the middle of the party, they'll have like $200 in orders on their party. They will sign up as a consultant. They will not use Kit Credit, sign up, and then we have either the people place the orders again, or we do it manually and just collect the payment information. I've done them that way. When I have done it where I'll bring the party to $400 in sales, and I'll put the Kit Credit through, they'll do that, and then we'll put the rest of the orders on for them. There's a lot, it depends on what, I've talked through all of those options with the host, and it depends on what works better. Do they want all of the commission, or do they want, you know, the Kit Credit and then the commission on the remainder?
Are you doing direct ship? Because once
I am not on direct ship.
so that's the
so
key.
that's a key.
That's a key.
I was going to transition. Do you have a...
One thing, we're going to have Carrie celebrate her new directors. Yes.
Hey, wait, everybody. Let me flip this around. Yay!
thank you.
Pull up your sales. Nicole. Oh yes, this arrives.
Oh,
We didn't have it at our meeting the other day. So, her crew.
Is she- can they see? Can they see?
62,567.
What?
Like 21.
yeah.
And here is your.
Look at that, it's official.
Last month for May, her sales were $2,442, and she had 3 recruits and a resign. She had a girl resign. So
Whoa.
Congratulations, Kristen. Yeah, I'm so excited for her because she really did. I in March, she's like, I just want to be an elite seller, Carrie. And I'm like, Kristen, you're so close to being a director. You can do both. And she's like, the next day she messaged me, she's like, you're right. Like, I can do both. We just need to kind of talk about like time management. We did that. And from there,
Carrie spent a lot of time on the phone with me talking about
Yeah.
work and life balance. Because
And
I just 2 kids. at
And that
home
should be
and-
another
it's,
topic.
it's hard. It's sometimes you need someone to bounce that off of. So we did that. And then I think after we were on the trip that, like she said, it just really clicked for her. And Nicole and I got home, we were bombarded with like between her and Blair, they were so excited and wanting to promote. It was exciting for us. So just a really awesome time for our team. So congratulations,
Thank you.
Kristen. And
Thank
then with her promoting, Nicole promoted to advanced director. Nicole had $3,604 in sales last month and 1 recruit.
Beautiful.
All right.
Okay,
What do we do?
I have an idea to share from Marna Ross's team, and then I'm going to ask Nancy Joe to share a little bit about the gift you gave a friend who had a health thing, and then we'll turn it over to Barb to do our organizational workshop. And then after, so anyway, I just wanted to share with everybody an idea that just started on Marna Ross's team, and it is gathering and creating like a wildfire kind of effect in a good way, good fire. A couple of her consultants or directors decided to offer a cooking club. And so what they had is they asked some friends, it was a group of friends, if they wanted to establish a cooking club. And they asked 6 people for a 6-month commitment. The agreement was to commit to spending about $35 a month. And they would each get the benefit of being a host one of the months. So they started out by having this group of people. She called them and asked them which month they wanted to be the host, and also secured their credit card information, which is key because they were committing that the other 5 months they would have an order on their friend's show. In addition, they created a Facebook group for their cooking club. So this Facebook group on their cooking club, they actually ahead of time post what a recipe that they're going to be making with last month's product. So this week, the product of the month ended up being the burger press, and they had a show. It was a product grouping, but they could choose, but the burger press had to be part of it. So in that product grouping, people spent more than $35 and they chose other things that they wanted, but the burger press was one of it. So now she was having a cooking class on phone where she sent them the ingredients and they could cook with her, and they were all making Juicy Lucy hamburgers. So they're making it together, this group, making the recipe with the consultant. So then the next month, other people, next month's feature is a salad recipe. They have a certain product that's going to be part of that recipe, but people could then also buy things that they were missing. I'm sorry. Sorry, don't listen to my message. She's going to be a speaker at a conference. So anyway, what is happening is they have a guaranteed show, like your freezer meal, but this group of foodies feel like they're in a cooking club. They're getting recipes. They're and the shows are not minimal shows. So it's geared that the person can have a minimal show, but when it's your month to host, you're inviting your other friends and family to join your show so that you can maximize the host benefits.
So there is one more thing.
Bobby Bolton did this with the
Oops.
10 for 10
Okay.
months, and so did Lynn Hand. Lynn Hand has Dining Divas, and
I love
she's done this forever. Lynn
Okay.
Hand is
Okay.
forever.
So I know, and I don't know if I
But
heard
the
it.
thing is, with only a 6-month commitment, it was like more affordable and there was more of a buy-in. And because she got the credit card number up front, there was no concern that some of the future shows were going to fall through.
No, and the other thing that either I got, I don't know if this was from Marna. I don't think that this was from Marna, but it was somebody that, another direct seller that actually has this. And I think she got some of those ideas from there. I know, I see Connie with the little baby there. I spy, little baby. Anyway, the thing of it is that when you commit to this, you are committed to that, at least that $35. So whether or not and it's by a certain date, and if you do up front, you have to give them your credit card information so that if you do not purchase anything by the date that party needs to be submitted, it goes in as the product grouping of the month. So whatever that is, they pay you. You're buying something for $35, so you get that credit card information up front, and no matter what, you're guaranteed. That event is guaranteed.
Plus tax and direction.
Right. So
And
that's just the grouping.
And some months it might be a little bit
Right.
more, some months it might be a little bit less,
Right.
but there's a product of the month
Right.
that's included
Right.
kind of to make
And they
whatever
do a
recipe.
grouping like that. Yeah.
So we were going to have Nancy Joe share real quick.
Okay, hold on.
Nancy Joe gave a gift. Let's turn
Okay,
it around
turn her
so
around.
Nancy Joe could see.
Hi, everybody.
Wait, can they see her?
Yeah, they can
Okay.
see.
Okay.
You guys know I'm all over this Cool and Serve salad bar. I'm really excited. It's something I did for myself, and I'm really trying to get people to jump in and be healthy with me. And my cousin had a heart attack 2.5 weeks ago. And so my 4 sisters and I were, saying, what are we going to get her? What are we going to do? Get a big pot of flowers or, gift cards, etc. And I said, why don't we give her the gift of health? Because she just had a heart attack. I'm sure she needs to eat more veggies. So I ordered a Cool and Serve, and we filled it with all the chopped veggies, and then gave her a nice a thing of cleaned romaine, so she's all set. And then we gave her a $50 Carson's card and a $30 Jewel card to refill it. She was so excited about this Cool and Serve filled with veggies. She opened up her fridge and she goes, look at my refrigerator. I've got veggies in there. Look. She goes, but they're all in their bags, and it takes time and energy to chop them. And to do that every day, even though I'm home, I'm not getting to it. This is so exciting. And she was so jazzed. So just like Edible Arrangement gives a fruit for $60, $70, you can offer to give a gift of health. And she was in tears, so excited, not about the gift cards, but about the filled Cool and Serve, because it showed her what she could do and be ready for the week. Yay! So anyway, that's it for me. And now we're gonna go to Barb.
We're going to go to Barb. So, Barb, can you see? There you are, Barb. As you know, Barb is not only a great friend of Nancy Joe, but she's her
She's all of our friends.
or her assistant, her friend, very smart lady. And this is going to be our organization workshop, and there is supportive materials already on pcteamtraining.com, password capital D Dream 17.
Oh, great. All right, so I already did this workshop as a Zoom call a couple weeks ago for some directors. So and I think, everybody can use organization in your office, but also think about teaching it to your teams. I think sometimes maybe new people don't realize you actually have to have a space in your home if you really want to take your business seriously. And then as you start accumulating more and more products, you have to put that stuff somewhere too. And then
people sent me some pictures, which we're not going to share today. I couldn't believe the spaces. They made me anxious because it was just like, I would never want to go in there and work. So, you know, some people have beautiful, clean, you know, completely organized offices. A lot of people are really struggling with keeping that all together. So here's how I started out the workshop. I have, this is not real money, but $24, right? And each dollar represents 1 hour in the day. We have 24 hours a day. So how many hours do we spend sleeping? 8, right? So we're taking 8 away.
I
Hopefully.
figured
Our goal is
6
8
and a
hours.
half.
All right. So that leaves
That
us
gave me
with,
more hours, awake hours.
and we have 16 hours left. How many hours do we spend like taking our showers and getting ready for the day, preparing meals, serving them, and cleaning up?
Ooh.
4 more hours? We'll take 4 more hours away.
Is it 4?
I don't know, whatever you guys say.
Okay.
That's your opinion. All right, so now we have 12 hours left. So we've taken out of our time the things that are necessary, right? We have 12 hours left. So you think about, how do you use those 12 hours each day?
One of each of those is my kids asking questions.
Yeah, that's right. So you don't have 12 kids, right? Hopefully you don't have 12 children. Yeah. Okay, well now let's say you go into your office. How much time do you spend looking for? You're going to lose a couple more dollars, you know, a week or a day. You can't find things in your office or in your home. So organization, there is a value to it, and you're going to see at the end why having an organized space will help you make more money, be able to get some of that money back. So let's just talk for a few minutes about some of the top challenges that you have working from home. Definitely, it's a unique situation. It's not the same as getting up, getting dressed, going to the office. So anybody want to throw something out? What are some of the challenges that you face?
Children. I have 2 kids,
Okay.
4 and 18 months. So.
Okay, so yeah, childcare in the home, definitely when we have, you know, when they're not in school yet.
Interruptions.
Oh yes, interruptions.
Interruptions.
Everybody can relate to interruptions.
Mhm.
The challenge right now is I want to work it all the time, and that's not realistic in the family, right?
Right, so you're thinking
I
about
have a
working all the
nice
time.
office upstairs that I built, and so it's really fun to be in there. And so I like turning myself away from that and setting limits. I think it's my challenge right now.
Okay, setting limits, you know, because
Office hours.
doing
Setting
office
office
hours is a good
hours.
thing for that.
Yeah.
Actually, it says frequent distractions. That's a really common one working from home, wouldn't you say?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, are you thinking about starting dinner, the laundry, you know, the kids walk in, somebody interrupts you. That is actually the #1 reason for lower productivity when people work from home, is the frequent distractions. Another one is that's on a high on the list is poor organization. And I think part of the challenge comes in, some people have the luxury of a separate room for their office, but some people are sharing their office space with their living space. And so that creates another interesting dynamic that's different from working from home. So these are some of the things you have to deal with. Do you ever find like in your office becomes sort of the depository? You know, like, oh, wait, this thing that has nothing to do with my business, but I don't really know what to do with it. So you know what? I'm just going to put it on my desk and I'll get to it later, right? Does anybody relate to that? So your office space, and so because you're sharing it in your house, can kind of become a depository, and then things can kind of get a little out of control, and that's why it's harder to find things when you need them. So when you think about your stuff, you kind of throw it into 2 categories. One is the stuff that you need to have near you to do your work, the stuff you need to do your work. And most everything else is the stuff you need to store somewhere, whether it's in a filing cabinet or remote storage. So on the PC Team Training website, there is a flyer that's called Office Organization Rating System. It's just a little flyer, which is a really great idea. It's kind of
It's
neat.
under Nancy Joe's.
Under Nancy Joe's tab. Okay.
Page 2, isn't it?
I think it is.
So. Okay. Oh, maybe it is.
All right. So, but anyway. So let's just talk about that. When you're setting up your office space, you want to look at each thing that's in your office according to its function. How do you use it? Why do you use it? What do you use it for? How often do you use it? And that will help you determine where you're going to put it. So you're going to use a rating system of 1 through 7. So anything that's a number 1, if you're sitting at your desk, And I think a really good way to do this is like just clear your space and kind of put everything back according to the numbers. All right, so everything at your desk area are the things that you got to have your hands on frequently. You got to be able to grab it. All those little office supplies like your paper clips and tape and scissors and, you know, stapler, that type of stuff. Of course, your computer, your phone, whether you have a landline or your cell phone, you need that right by you in your workspace. I like to call them your current project folders. So they may be different things. Those could be anything from your shows to your director meetings, your, you know, team information, national conference, your incentive trip, whatever your working current projects are. Those are things that you want to refer to frequently. You want to have them close to you. And any other kind of reference binders or contact lists. You know, a lot of them are probably on computers. You want to have that stuff nearby. So those would be your ones. That's the stuff that you got to have your hands on frequently. So the next category are the 2s and 3s, and those are going to be things that are in your immediate office space, but you don't necessarily have to grab it quick, you know, right away. But you could put those things in your filing cabinets, up on a bookshelf, on a countertop, things like that. Maybe like your host packets, show materials, recruiting packets. You don't need that every single second, but maybe need quickly, you know, not too far, and grab that quickly. And resource books, your recognition programs, you don't do that every day, but you do it on a regular basis. So you want that nearby, but it doesn't have to be within hands reach access. Now, when I did this online, one of the participants explained to me Pampered Chef had done a training, and I couldn't find it. Maybe some of you might be familiar with it, but what do you do with show paperwork? How long do you keep it? So what she shared was from the Pampered Chef training that they recommended that you only should have to keep your paperwork if you print stuff out from your shows for 3 months. And so you keep 3 folders, month 1, month 2, month 3. So let's say we start the system this month, it's June. So I'm going to put all my June shows in the month 1 folder. In July, I'm going to move those to month 2 folder. July shows go in month 1. In August, and 3, 2, 1, and then you can throw them away. Now, the one girl said, I'm just going to like go through every single document and shred the credit card information. And she pulled up a bin and said, this is what I have to go through it. And my question was like, why would you take the time to go through every single page and look for credit card information? If you don't need any other information, shred it all. Right. Just shred it all. You can take places to go shred it. If you don't have a good, a hardy enough shredder and you're doing a lot of shows, spend a few dollars and get a bigger one. Get a fire pit. There's other ways to get rid of it. So that show information, again, you're going to keep that. That'll be your 2 or 3 because you may need to refer to that for credit card information or whatever for those first couple of months after, and then you can dispose of it. The 4s and 5s are things that you can actually, more that can be stored, like maybe CDs, DVDs, maybe past trainings, some products that you might have in stock that you might need to get access to fairly quickly, but again, not every day, not every week. Your extra office supplies, if you've got 500 pens, you don't need them all at your fingertips. You need, half a dozen. The other, 490 can go someplace else. So you can go and stock your office with those supplies, but they don't need to be within your fingertips. They can be stored in a little bit further away space. Maybe consultant gifts. Again, you don't have to have them occupying your workspace. They can occupy a space a little bit further away from that. And if you have a room, a closet or something like that, a higher shelf, someplace like that, a cabinet. And then the last ones are the 6s and 7s. And that's stuff that is really, you're rarely going to need it, but you just can't really part with it yet. Like tax records, older files that you're afraid you might, like, I really want to get rid of this. I might want to refer back to it. So that you're going to put into boxes, and you can store those in your attic, your garage, your basement. They can go into remote storage. And I would recommend labeling the outside of your boxes with everything that's in them. That way, it's a lot easier to find when you have to go and retrieve something that's been sitting around for a while. So again, I would say clean out your, if you're really struggling with your space right now, if it's overwhelming you, you're going to clean your entire space and kind of start from scratch. Use that rating system and decide what goes where. That's a really good place to start. And you're going to probably find, maybe some of you that have been doing this for a long time, you've accumulated a lot of stuff. You may realize it's time for a garage sale. You know, there may be some things, or some people are doing, you know, like an online thing to get rid of your older stock and give somebody a really good deal to kind of clear that stuff out if you're not going to use it. Or maybe you want to donate something somewhere to some organization that you have a heart for, something like that. So that's a really good way to kind of get your space going. So even in our digital age, we still have so stinking much paper, don't we? I mean, doesn't it kind of tend to like, where did this all come from? It piles up. So we're going to talk about the trash system and what to do with all that paper. Before I start that, though, I do want to say, if you have piles, you want to transfer your piles into some kind of a vertical system. It'll always be easier to find things when they're lined up and down, to just flip through the tabs than to go through a pile and lift things up and search for things. So if you find you've got too much stacked this way, consider turning it into vertical files. And the ones that go up are really nice, because then you can see all the tabs because they're elevated. But trash system, you know, the part of the reason we have so much paper is pretty much one of two things. It's either we're indecisive about it. So I get this thing, it's like, oh, I might need this. Let me put it in a pile. Or it's just inconvenient. You know, oh my gosh, I'm running out the door. I'll just put it in my pile, right? So we're either indecisive about it, or it's an inconvenient time to do something with it. So something that you can do is this thing called the trash system, as you're dealing with your paper. Or if you do need to clean out your space, you can take all your papers, and as you're going through them, use the trash system to get yourself reorganized in your office if it's gotten a little out of control. But make a habit of doing this when your mail comes in, to try to eliminate some of that buildup in your living space. So T, in this document, the trash system is also on the PC Team Training website if you'd like to access it there. So T is for toss it. I mean, make a decision right away. If I really don't need this, get rid of it. You know, throw it in the garbage can. Open up your mail right next to your recycle can or your garbage can and throw stuff away. So the question that you ask yourself as you're going through this paperwork is, can this be tossed? Is there any reason to keep it? Can I throw it away? The second one is R, which means refer it. Who can I refer this to? Is this my responsibility, or is this something that should be delegated to someone else? Is there somebody else in your household or on your team, something that comes through that you don't really have to handle it, but you have to give it to somebody else to do? Give it to them right away, or if you're not going to see them right away, have a folder and put it for so-and-so in that folder, so you can make sure that you give those to the person that needs to get them. So you ask yourself the question for R, is it my responsibility? Who else can handle this? And the third one is A, is act on it. If it's something right there, right now, can I take care of this immediately? They said that the average a number of times that we handle a piece of paper is 8 to 10. 8 to 10 times. So if you eliminate, 7 to 9 handlings of a piece of paper, I mean, literally seconds turn into minutes, minutes turn into hours, hours turn into, you really, in the long run, over the span of the rest of your working life, you're going to save yourself a boatload of time. So, ask yourself when you get that paper that you need to do something, when will I do this? When will I get this task done? Is it something you can do right then? I'm going to write a check, drop it in the mail. Do you have a bill paying system if you're still writing checks? You do that on a certain basis. Do you have a file folder for where you're going to put those checks, or those bills? Do you're going to write the checks on a certain day? If it is a task that you need to follow through with, like, you have to make an appointment with someone for something, put it on your calendar. Can you make that appointment right now? Can you put that task on your calendar? And then put that document in a folder, like your working folder, for things that are upcoming events, or working folder. You can name it whatever is good for you, that will remind you that that's what that's there for. But put those things someplace where you're going to act on it, and make a decision. Put it on your calendar when you're going to do it if you can't handle it immediately. The S is for save it. So there are certain things like, say, for example, warranty booklets that come with things, right? You have to keep those and you have to do something with them. So you do have to put that somewhere. You know, you can put those in a filing cabinet, depending on how many, you know, booklets you have, a binder, but have a designated place, even if it's just a box, which I don't think is ideal because again, you're going to stack it. But have a place where those warranty booklets go, and you can put them right there and save it. And what number would a warranty booklet go under?
7.
Probably a 7. You put it away somewhere, because how often are you going to refer to those? Rare occasions. Those can be stored somewhere, not in your office, a little further away. Be sure to label it.
Page protectors with tags really work fabulous
Yeah.
with this. When we bought our house
Slide 'em in.
25 years ago, the guy gave us a book for the house. And everything was in there, and I just kept it up, and it's been
Yeah.
you never have to look for anything.
Yeah, great way to do that. And then the last one is H, and that's for house it. You know, and those again are some of the things that, you know, you're going to ask yourself the question, how often do I need access to this? And depending on that, use the rating system and decide where it needs to find a home. Maybe not in your homes. You know, some things can find a place outside your home. And I did want to mention too, as I was doing this with the group online, one girl had this closet and it was full of Pampered Chef products, and the boxes were just stacked on top of each other. And my first thought was like, oh my gosh, I would hate to have to get that box out from the bottom. So if that's what you find, you know, if you're not going to get rid of the stuff, if you're not going to have a garage sale, if you're not going to move it on, you know, invest in some. Nancy's got Gorilla racks. They're nice, sturdy shelving or some kind of shelving. So when you do go get that product, maybe maybe you have a way that people come and say like, oh, I need a shower gift tomorrow. Oh, let me see what I have in stock. It'd be a whole lot easier for you to go into your, you know, space where you have your stock items and get that product. I mean, I think it would be a nightmare to go in with somebody and have to take 10 boxes off of the one that you're trying to reach to show it to them. You know, and Nancy puts a nice inventory list of the excess stock. So it is easy when you're at your desk, you keep that by your desk. So somebody calls you up and says, hey, I have a shower tomorrow and I need a product. Let me see if I have that. You pull out your inventory list. You write in pencil so you can erase and rewrite, you know, the things and the numbers.
With a little pencil right
attached. Yeah, and just keep that inventory.
Or an Excel spreadsheet.
Or an Excel spreadsheet. Just keep that. That would be a nearby thing. So when you're working, you have quick access. You don't have to say, well, let me get up and go into my garage and look things over. You don't have to keep it in your office, but you can keep the list in your office.
And you can print off it in alphabetical list. So it's really easy to see what you've got.
I'm not saying this as an expert. I'm just saying I've heard it before. But,
Should we turn you around? Hold on.
I've heard that the inventory is called cost of
No, it was
stranded
something.
goods.
Stranded goods.
Cost of stranded
Yeah.
goods. When you have duplicates or triplicates of items that are stored in your garage or under your bed or in a closet or wherever, it's not promoting your business. So how could you best use those products? You're right, you could have a garage sale, but you can also have a cooking class at your own home. You could have an incentive to book. You could have a pick a gift at $100 purchase. You could have a fundraiser for help with cancer or whatever thing, and have like some raffle gifts or gifts that you give away for people who book shows or join your team. Create your own special. Join my team this month and get this bundle of products worth $100.
Discontinued.
You know,
I like everything you're saying with that. I just wanted to comment. We talked about the online auction. I had a girl join my team a couple months back that was in 31, and she said she will never do another online auction because people were just coming to her 31 group waiting for that online auction, and they weren't buying from her. They were waiting till she had a big online auction sale, and that was the only way she was getting sales. So, I mean, I know some of us directors have a ton of stuff, and that might not be a problem for us, but for your be careful promoting that, because she said when she started Pampered Chef that was not something that she was going to do because she didn't want to fall in that same situation. So I do like what you were saying about offering them to your team, your host, whatever. I did a customer, like an open house customer appreciation in, I think it was November. Stuff there. I don't have an inventory sheet for stuff, but I put everything out. I discounted some things. I don't remember, maybe like a 20% discount or something. People didn't even come for the discount. They came to buy things. I think I sold $700 worth of stuff that was sitting in, that I have in inventory. So I don't know. The online auction thing, that's just what I've heard. So I just wanted to share
and we
that.
have to be careful. We're not allowed to sell in eBay or anything like that. So you have to be really, really careful how you do that. And if you do it, I propose that you would do what Marie is saying by offering it to your team, offering it as bonuses to your host. If you have a $1,200 show, you get to choose from these products. I only have one. So the sooner you get there, the more you can do it. Or if you have your team, do 2,500 in sales. I mean, whatever you want to
Pick a date, pick a gift. Pick a date, pick a gift.
Yeah.
Increase your
whatever you
bookings.
want to increase in your business, that's what you want to use those products for. So,
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Great ideas.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
I don't.
People
I
are
think I've
getting
seen it
dizzy.
on,
That's
on
okay.
Facebook. So I have lots of files. I mean, and I always do everything, in the file drawer. But I saw where they said if you got different colored file folders, because we have some rental properties, so it's like trying to keep stuff of other houses and stuff to get to be overwhelming. So I think I did like all of our banking stuff was, green. All of our tax stuff maybe was great. But I did different colors. Like I got orange if it's garage and all that. And it's been helpful to me because my boys are always like, Mom, where did you put that? Where'd you put that? I said, go down in the file. It's in yellow and it says such and such. And I have been amazed. They're like, oh, I found the folder, but I didn't find what I was looking for. And I'm like, did you go through every piece that was in that folder that had your name on it? So that's been helpful. The other thing I did was I bought, and I don't remember who told me, but it's called Neat Receipts. It's a scanner.
Yeah.
And I plug that into my computer. As soon as I get a receipt that I know I have to do for taxes, I have folders set up. I scan it, check mark it, and put it in the file. I'm done with it. It comes in.
And then
And
you
I'm
shred
done.
it? Then you shred it?
I
You shred the
don't.
receipt? Okay.
I don't. I put it in with my taxes
Okay.
so that I have
Okay.
that. But I feel like I've got that, and then I got my backup on my computer.
Yeah.
So,
Great idea.
but I'm
And
only
there-
handling it the one
Yeah.
time.
And there is another scanner. It's a Fujitsu. There's two different ones. There's a bigger model, and I think you could get it on. Now I haven't because I do have a Neat Receipt, but I think my Neat Receipt is kind of like, I mean, you can use it for anything. You don't have to use it for receipts because I put documents through there and all that. But the Fujitsu, I think it's an i700, i500. One of them is like more like a portable kind of scanner, and then the other one's a little bit bigger that you're not going to be, taking from place to place, which I think could accommodate if you're trying to scan lots of paper. But I think even the small one scans up to 50. And if you know anything about a scanner, I mean, even the Neat Receipts does this. It'll do two-sided. Okay, so it can do both sides of multiple papers. It can do just black and white. So it is really great to have. And the Fujitsu actually connects to, if you have Evernote. So if you are wanting to go paperless, and I learned a lot of this from Lydia Martin, who was, she is the paperless queen. And it is great because you're not, and I know I've scanned a lot of those old, we used to hand them out at our shows, and they were like things for ice shaver, bread tubes, baking stones, all of these. And you're like, what am I going to do with these? Because they weren't in any kind of file and they had no permanent record, but I just scanned them in because I thought I would have it. And when people are like, hey, I've got somebody that has this thing called an ice shaver. Does anybody have any recipes? I'm like, hold on, because it is. That's where it goes, and that's where they're scanned into. So a lot of those old recipes that I'm like, really, what am I going to do with these things? So and you know what we have now, that's my next project, is those old trainings like Tony Alexander and those other, our other speakers that have presented. You're like, am I ever going to use this stuff? So I almost feel so connected to it that I'm like, I really don't want to just get rid of it. But I'm like, I have a wall of binders. Seriously, wall of binders. And I'm like, I just need to scan those things in, because that, when you put stuff in Evernote or even in your Dropbox, because you can file that all the way, and you're like, so much better, because the search engine on there is like amazing. They can read any of, even like in your photos or JPEGs, it can totally read it. So if you're putting them in Evernote, it will find any words, or you can tag them. They're like amazing. So that is like next time I
15 minutes a day and do that stuff. It'll be
Oh yeah.
What's the name?
Right. It's called Fujitsu. You can go online and look at it. And like I said, there's different models of it, but I think one's $249 about, sometimes you can see a better deal because Amazon. So look for the better deal, because lots of different sellers sell them. And then the other one is the bigger, but I think that one is like $449 or something like that. So, but definitely worth the investment, because I know I've utilized my Neat Receipts to no end. But it doesn't, it's more, to me, it's harder to work with. This other one is just like seamless. I mean, it just, and it connects.
So I can't say no, I need to buy this.
No. And I have the Neat Receipts, and I was like, do I really need to invest in this other thing? But I had a bunch of gift certificates. I was like, what am I going to do with this? So I bought the Neat Receipts, but it's been a long time that I've had it. So, okay. All right. Going back to
So yeah,
Barb.
great ideas. I mean, actually filing is almost another whole class.
I know, right?
But I mean, the concept then is, you have to have some kind of an established system in your office and places for things. Everything has to have its home. So create your systems. There's so many different ones out there. Everybody likes different, materials. I think that one of the key things, as I'm listening to Patty, was actually perfect. She's got the project in her mind, but she's going to need to designate some time to get that project done. So, I mean, really put it on your calendar, make it a priority for yourself. If you find that you're wasting time in your office because you can't find things, or you don't want to go in your office because just the look of it just makes you, anxious, then you really need to put that time aside, invest that time, get your space organized so you can find everything, so you can go to work when you go to work in your home. Well, and here's how you if you teach this to people, you can wrap it up. We're going to go back to that money, right? Let's face it, we all do have our own personal time wasters throughout the day, whatever they may be, So for example, let's say you turned off the television or Facebook, you get off of Facebook for just 30 minutes a day. Gave that 30 minutes up each day. And you use that 30 minutes to do some real income producing work. Not just like little stuff. Your office is clean. You can get in your office and you can actually work. Your office is ready to go. You can make that 30 minutes really productive. Over a year, now you're going to add 183 hours of productive, money-producing time, and you're going to be able to get some money back. But like any investment, invest that time first in organizing your space so you can maximize the use of the extra time that you're going to be able to use to get in there and work. And then I ended it with this quote: if you really want to get organized, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll just find an excuse.
Yeah. Amen.
So that's just the basics of organization, but you got to, again, set the time aside and be diligent, and then develop some new practices once your office is clean. A few minutes before, a few minutes after. Nancy Jo used to, that late at night after her children were put in bed, she would spend time like doing those little things in her office because she could focus on that. It was too late to make phone calls or to work with people, but it wasn't too late to file things or get her desk ready for the next day or post packets together, things like that. So, find those niches. Everybody has their own time clock. Some people are better off getting up early in the morning. Some people are better off staying up late at night. Whatever your body is, work with it and, maximize the use of your time and the space that you have to work with.
I used to have my neighbor Karen right over here.
Dizzy.
Her house
Wait,
is
where
always
is she?
perfect. And what I would do to myself is I would say, I pretend Karen's coming over in 5 minutes. 5 minutes I would do to just get myself back on track, and it would work. I pretend all the time. I do find that there's it's really important to work on myself, not just my job. And I think that life is a matter of making choices. And every day we wake up and we choose how to spend our time. We choose who to spend our time with. And, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm in a new decade now, so the sage advice comes from someone who's really old, but still feels 30.
That's right.
Is that every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. So, and life is very precious, and who your inner circle is determines the trajectory of where you're going to be. They say that you are the average of your 5 closest people in your life. So your friends either are the kind of people that are lifting you up, or they're the kind of people that are dragging you down. And one of the unique things about working from home is people don't see what we do as a legitimate business. They see you as home. Oh, you're home. My kid is sick, or I'm sick, or I've got to go. Do you mind taking my kid for an hour? Or you could volunteer to be on, do I get an amen out there? Hello, virtual people. But, you know, they assume that we could do things because we are at home. And they don't see the legitimacy of our business. But yet, I mean, at the very beginning, some of you guys may have missed it. Nancy Joe's team is 6,000 people strong. How many directors do you have, Nancy Joe?
234.
234 directors, a personal team of 500. She's running a multi-million-dollar business. Now, it may not look it because you see her sitting at her desk looking out to her beautiful backyard, or you see her here today going, whatever. I mean, our business doesn't look like the normal kind of business. So you have to respect it so that others respect it. And I learned early on to have to say things like, I'm sorry, I'm working on Thursday, but if you'd like to go to lunch, we could go to lunch on Friday. Or that I have office hours. Or if you listened to Tennille last year at our pre-conference workshop, she had a big learning curve a year ago. And that is she eliminated doing weekend shows and reconfigured her work week to be weekday shows so that she would have the weekends with her family, because she was feeling guilty about leaving home when her family was home. And she was missing out on these family times. So she started doing Monday night and Tuesday night.
Tell her
Thursday
why
night.
the Monday night. Tell her what she
You
said.
tell her.
Okay, so what she said. Okay, okay.
Oh, wait.
So I love this. No, here, hold on.
Can we thank Barb?
Oh,
She
yeah.
has a-
All right, everybody. Okay, we want to see everybody clapping. Oh, I think you could see my nose.
That was
Oh, yay, yay, yay. Okay,
Thank you, Barb. Okay, so let me,
So Tennille decided on Monday night.
so she decided on Monday nights, and people are like, I don't know, you know, I'm not sure if that's going to be a really great night. And she said, well, do you do anything on Monday night? They said no. And she said, well, your friends are probably not doing anything on Monday nights. And she said, no, you're probably right. And she said, now, do you think that I would, you know, like I would work on a Monday night if I didn't know it was going to be beneficial for you and me? So remember that? Which was totally a great, you know, like you're like, oh yeah, like really? Does anybody really do anything on Monday nights? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, they're great Monday nights. And I think Thursdays are the new Fridays. And, you know, there's so many things. And, you know, Michael Reeves does 2 shows on a Saturday. So it's totally, I mean, it's all possible. So whatever
Yeah.
works for you.
But the thing is that you decide what does
Yes.
work for you.
Right.
Because I think that that's like a key learning point that I had in my career is the other learning point that I had in my career was delegating things that I did not need to do. So if it, like the cleaning thing, on the day of my meetings, you know, I always have. And I can
Or
remember
at your
having
meeting.
a conversation with Nancy Joe saying, The day of your meeting, you're planning recognition,
Yeah.
you're planning your meeting, you're doing things that are really important. Somebody else could be cleaning your house. Like I was, instead of losing your mind, as long as you're justifying that you're earning that money to pay that supportive person. For some people, the supportive person may be a babysitter.
Hey, but we're all here. We're not lost, are we?
Sorry. All right, hold on.
Can you
Damn.
guys hear?
Oh, they're back. Okay.
You know what? We got disconnected from your internet.
Oh, it was my fault. Sorry. So Anthony is speaking. Anthony, can you get a little
Yeah,
closer so
sure,
they
I
can? You
can.
can't see yourself. Or
Excellent. So,
Can you guys see?
so I had a business. I recruited 5 people last month, and it was truly eye-opening because we don't know who's at our parties, and we don't know their backstory until we ask. So I played the ticket activity, did the drawing slip, like Eileen told me. She's like, do the drawing slip, and then open them up at the end of the show to see who checked the boxes and what it's all about. So I did the ticket activity. I asked the questions, and she's like, I just really love what's all in this kit. I said, great, it's $249. You can get all this in it. And I said, well, what do you do? She goes, I'm a lawyer. I was like, oh, wow, why do you want to become a Pampered Chef consultant? She goes, I have 3 kids, and they're in gymnastics. It costs $185 for 7 weeks of gymnastics. I said, great, 2 shows a week. We'll pay for their gymnastics. And then the other lady was like, oh, I want to become a Pampered Chef consultant because this looks like a great deal. So she signed. And then another person signed. And it was so refreshing to know that you don't know who's going to be at your party, and you never want to prejudge. So I was starting to get to know them a little more after they signed. And this one girl is going through a divorce. She just has a dog. She's at home. She wants to be with more people. And then I talked to the lawyer again, and as she's reading every single point, because she's like, I'm not signing up. We're not going to send the county sheriff after me to get my kid. And so I asked her, I said, has anyone ever hosted a Pampered Chef party with you before? And she goes, you know what? I sit next to a Pampered Chef consultant who has been with the company for 10 years. And not once has she ever asked me to host a party, order, or even become a Pampered Chef consultant. And that right there, I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, so like I said this morning, I said, if we don't ask, someone else is going to ask.
Wow.
For 10 years, she's been working with this person, and not once has she even, considered. So.
Wow. And I remember, that reminds me of a story, Nancy Jo, of you doing this show for doctors. Mm-hmm. You got to tell them that story. You guys, if you haven't heard this doctor story, you're in for a treat.
Well, I was talking to a specialist, and it took us like 7 or 9 months to even get on the calendar where her girlfriends, who were also specialists, could all be off on the same night. And they didn't invite any office staff or nurses or anything. They just wanted to be girlfriends, all doctors, right? So there was only like about 9 people there, all women doctors, all specialists, and they're talking and complaining and, to each other about life. And during my show, I said, well, I know this wouldn't be for you, but if you I know you come across a lot of people who need money and very flexible schedules because of them being sick. I said, please keep me in mind because I can help, okay? And the one very full of herself doctor said, oh my gosh, how much money can you really make? And I go, well, you can do okay. I'm not saying it's for you. I'm just saying you may come across people. And she goes, no, you brought it up. And I said, well, let me ask you this. I was just at my doctor's office today, and I read an article in USA and World Report that said how much people make. And they said the average specialist clears $235,000 a year. Is that true? And they go, oh, I wish you would do my office staff and my malpractice and blah, 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 and babysitting and this and that. I said, so then you're saying you make less than that, right? And they said, yeah. I says, is there anybody that makes more than that?
You dropped the
Nobody.
bomb.
I had cleared net income over 400,000 that year. And all of a sudden they were like, I went to 13 years of school and you're making 400,000 doing kitchen tools. And they weren't really, but it just shows you. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We only paid $2. Well, now it's $4, but $2 a month for our malpractice insurance. And so anyway, needless to say, it was a great night. They really drank a lot of alcohol because they were not happy after I said that. But really, really good. It just shows you don't prejudge. And going back to lawyers, there, I will never forget, probably 5 years ago, a gal came up to me at conference, and she was a lawyer, a partner, not just a lawyer, she was a partner in a law firm, 5 children of her own, and she had just recruited like 11 people in the past 5 months. And she says, oh my gosh, I mean, she was walking as a new director, and she goes, this is just so much, this is my fun job. She said, I am under so much stress all day that this is my fun job. It's my outlet. I'm teaching my kids to cook and we're just having a ball with it. But how do you control how do you train so many people at once? And I said, so that's a very big problem. But you're right. Don't judge people because you never know who needs a fun night out, who needs, or who just even wants to change jobs. I mean, you have your master's in social, right? Jessica, and she just left her full-time job to do this full-time. Marie had her master's in social work, has her master's in social work, doing this full-time. Be an entrepreneur and be the best you can be, because you'll be amazed at what you can do.
And I also was going to want to ask you this question.
Yep.
Sell at that show because they had a lot of alcohol, you know, they were mad.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
It was almost 2,000.
Yeah. Okay.
From like 9 people. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. It was a huge show. It was a huge show. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. That's where
And a police officer.
police
and-
officer and a gateway coordinator. I mean, I have all on my team. Really big professionals are really I have all professional women on my team. Well, and I think young people have been told all their lives that they can be entrepreneurs, and there's classes that you guys went to be entrepreneurs, and they're seeing how unstable the real world is with jobs that say, oh, yes, you can do this, but then they downsize in a minute. Look at that gal at yours, 16 years at a job, and she was just in tears that her job is going away and she has nothing.
She's waiting.
She's just waiting to be dumped. And I said, why not build this for yourself? And the good news for Patty Marie and I is we don't have to die or retire for you to get our titles. There's no one stopping you but you. Right, that's true. No one. I mean, everybody has the same opportunity.
And you know, being self-employed, I mean, we've been self-employed a couple times in our family. You don't have to create a 5 or 10 year plan or go to the bank and get a loan.
Oh, yeah. Amen. Right?
So
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
You know, Patty, one of the things I wanted to do is all of our sister directors who are out there who are joining us from Zoom, did anybody have like a question for Nancy Jo or a comment or something that you wanted to share about something that's working for you?
I want to do recognition before we have to.
Is there any comments from the
Or
gallery?
for Marie or for Patty or for Laura or for.
Okay, because if not, I think what we'll do is we'll end the Zoom meeting and we'll just do the personal recognition here. I do want to shout out, raise your hand if you're green. Who's my green director team?
Yay! I know
All
Michael
right.
is too. He's not raising his hand.
Mr.
but
Michael
Mary,
Reese,
yay,
can you
Mary.
unplug?
Yay,
I have
Judy
a
and
personal
Connie.
question for you. How was your first Sunday preaching at
Oh,
your
yeah.
church? I don't know if you guys know
Can he
this,
hear?
but Michael
He's muted.
preached at
He's muted.
his church. He's muted. Unmute him. There
It was off the chain.
Of course it was.
So tell us.
Tell us.
Well,
What did you preach on, Michael?
I preached on what's God's perspective of us for Father's Day. How can we serve Him? Are we doing all we can to really serve and reach out to other people? So that was the gist of the sermon.
Tape it, Michael? Did they tape it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Hey, did you?
Hey, you can get 2 DVDs, 2 for $10. I'm just kidding.
Did you plug the grill pan in any way?
Oh, when they introduced me, they talked about the different things that I'm doing at the church, and then they talked about, and of course, Pampered Chef. So, and Debbie Reason was able to come and be a part of the service yesterday. So,
No, she brought.
I got to plug in Pampered Chef a couple of different times.
There you go.
That's great.
Michael, send me the link.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send us the link, Michael.
All right, Patty. I enjoyed this call. This was awesome.
It was great. But before you guys hang up, I want to put a shout out to Sue. Congratulations on her 2-time Excellence Awards. Just wanted to do it today, too. We love you.
Thank you. And this was wonderful to include those of us who are long distance. And it's just reassured to me that we need to be doing this with our teams.
Did you guys like that?
It's really nice to put voices and faces together.
Well, I have to say, shout out to Sherry. I absolutely was blown away by the idea that every consultant deserves a team meeting. And I would really like to take that idea up among ourselves, to partner up with a couple people and provide a recorded link or whatever to
do Tuesday night trainings.
Tuesday night trainings, whatever.
Yeah, because most meetings are Monday. So
On Zoom.
Good. Yeah.
Every Tuesday night.
That's a great idea, Diane. I like
Well,
that.
yes, but I'm thinking the way Sherry was using that is to
the
empower her directors to have a meeting that they can send to their teams that's co-created by different people. But yes, we could do a Tuesday night training, but I love the idea of us working together. Tuesday night. Tequila on Tuesday night.
There you go. Tequila on Tuesday.
So thank you
We
all
all do
for
shots
joining us
before the meeting.
virtually. I appreciate it.
Yes.
You guys have a great week. Make some comments on the Friday Director page if you'd like.
Thanks, everybody.
How was that
Michael,
training?
can't wait to hear you at our pre-conference event before you guys all hang up. Wednesday night of conference, 6:30 to 9:30 is our pre-conference event. A couple things, we've got some people sharing funny stories. We have some people sharing inspirational stories. We're going to have some people who have gotten a promotion, like new executive directors. We
Category earners.
yes, so we have a different lineup of people. The first speaker was booked a minute after last year's was done. Feriel came up to me and said, "I've done $3 million in sales. When are you going to ask me to speak at it?" So we did.
So she's going to wrap the meeting.
She's going to wrap up the meeting with a little bit. We want to have a focus on the best show on earth, best team on earth, and creating, whether it's in a virtual world or show world, the best show experience that they can have. Because I'm sure you would all agree that when you create a desire for the products, when people have a good time, they want what they see. So there is no guard at the door. Our pre-conference event, we asked for a room of 1,200. Last year we did almost fill it up, and so your friends in the business.
I know, right? She does that.
I know. Stop it. I can sit on the floor. I feel fine.
I know. And you know what? Home office is doing some
Tours
and tours and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And not everybody's flying in on Wednesday.
Right.
I'm really not worried about it.
It should be fine. I know. She's right.
There's always
There'll be 3,500 people.
I know. All right, guys. Have a good week.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Hopefully this damn thing taped. Just kidding.
People I knew that were going to be here. So I would like to, I sent out all your recognition.